All right. What's good, y'all? Soul here, and welcome back to the story mode. So, welcome to yet another edition of Soul Ramble Mode, the more podcast-esque style of videos where I just kind of ramble on about very specific topics. And in this particular episode, yeah, we're going to be talking more about Marvel Rivals because I just cannot get enough of this game. Already have upwards of like 140 hours in this damn game, bro. It's actually maddening. It's absolutely insane, right? Now, of course, this is not a surprising video by any means. Of course, this is definitely something I was always planning to do the moment that we heard about Marvel Rivals and the moment that I felt myself getting invested. This is one of the videos I had planned to do for a while. However, I decided to do this as a ramble mode video because I have a lot of characters listed here, and if I were to do a traditional style video on this, oh my goodness, this video would run so insanely long, and I don't really want to do that. So we're going to be reasonable here. Sorry if you hear a little thud right now. I'm putting my iPad down with all of the characters listed here. So, as you've seen from the title and thumbnail, there are very specific characters that I would like to see going into Marvel Rivals in the future. Now, of course, I'm trying to avoid naming or listing any of the characters that are obviously on their way. You know what I'm saying? We already know about Ultron. We already know about the other half of the Fantastic Four and things like that. We already know about Blade, okay? I don't want to, talk about characters that we already know are incoming. And, there are a couple on here that are obviously incoming probably sooner than later. But, that's just how badly I want them, right? And that's kind of where we're at right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here, and let's start listing a couple of characters off. Let's just talk about them a little bit, starting with the most obvious one, the obvious one that's coming, because we already have his, banners and stuff like that in-game. He's kind of littered within the game in different ways anyways, but Deadpool. It's insane that he's not here already, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's good, now that I think about it, that he's not here yet, because we have a character as massive as Deadpool to look forward to in the future, right? And so I don't know, I can't imagine what kind of season he's going to be finally implemented in. I have no idea, but I know for a fact there's no way he could be anything other than DPS. He's going to be just a perfect balance of long and close range, of course, because he has his blades, but he also has his double guns. He's just going to be the grounded version of Star-Lord, essentially, and he's going to be much better physically to, handle, and I feel like it's just going to be so much fun, and we already know he's going to be an insane character, breaking fourth walls consistently. It's going to be a good time, and the interactions between him and Wolverine are going to be absolutely elite. I cannot wait to see any interaction between him and the mutants, right? So that's something that I'm very much looking forward to. Cannot wait to see him, right? Moving on to the less obvious stuff, Shang-Chi. That's a sick-ass character, right? And, that is easily one of the better movies in the MCU in recent years, and I really do think that Shang-Chi would just be just a glorious addition to this cast. He is definitely just, again, that's another, there's no way he could be anything other than DPS, unfortunately, but regardless, he would be very, very solid as a fighter. We do need a little, some more close-range fighters. Him and Iron Fist going toe-to-toe on the battlefield, or them working together, is absolutely just an ecstatic thought to have. I would really love to see him using his rings and things like that. He's so just, what an awesome and unique character that I'm glad I was very introduced to. What? That I'm very glad I was introduced to. What a sentence that was. But I'm looking forward to seeing if they actually do add Shang-Chi. Again, if they could get characters like Iron Fist, like Luna Snow, definitely within more recent years, a more popular character like Shang-Chi wouldn't be absolutely insane to have, right? Or at least, the rise in popularity because of his movie. Because that was a solid movie, despite certain elements. But I really think it would be a great addition to the cast. Moving on to another one that's probably obvious, but I don't really know. But Thanos, okay? This guy is littered. You know what I'm saying? He is littered amongst Marvel in general. He is okay, it's really funny, right? In the MCU, he was this just grandstanding, all-timer. He was the demon to look out for. In the comics, he was a little bit of a stepping stone for a lot of characters, right? The whole Squirrel Girl thing, the whole Squirrel Girl comic where she just bodied him instantly. I don't know. He's a very mixed bag, but I still think that he's very important to Marvel, as he is just that guy. he's always been that guy to look out for, and I feel like he would be a phenomenal tank to have. I don't know, it really depends on what kind of arsenal you give him, but regardless, he would be a great tank. We definitely need more vanguards because, our options are very solid, but we could definitely always use some more vanguards and support, and I think that Thanos would be a phenomenal vanguard, right? So that's where I'm at with that. Moving on, we definitely need more Spider-Men, and I obviously am vouching and praying for Miles, but I feel like Miles is definitely, again, due to rise in popularity, a little more likely than the one I'm about to mention now, which is Miguel. Okay, and Miguel is a mixed bag because he's kind of like a half vampire, not vampire per se, but like if he has like vampiristic features and things like that, and the way he fights is very, very unique as opposed to a lot of other Spider-Men, and so I feel like this version of him would be really, really solid to have. I would love to have Miguel as a part of the cast. Again, I feel like he could be DPS. I feel like he could also possibly I feel like Miles would be better as support. But he could definitely work as another like spider DPS. So I don't know. I think we could definitely play around with the idea of Miguel making his way, and he could definitely be a little more unique. He could definitely use his vampiristic features like biting to drain and things like that. I don't know. I feel like they could have a lot of fun with Miguel. I would love to see that. He definitely has he has like more monsteristic features in his fighting style too, like claws and things like that. So I think he would be a really unique addition, and I would love to see that. After that, of course, now this one's a little weird because obviously we already have Captain America as Captain America, and it's like, currently in MCU we do have he's fully transitioned. Falcon has transitioned into Captain America, but because Marvel Rivals already has a Captain America, it would be kind of confusing to have two Captain Americas, one that's the original Captain America and the new one. So I feel like this would be a great reason to add him as Falcon. Add him as the Falcon. If Captain America is still around, add Falcon so that we could have Sam as, him doing his thing. He would be, oh my god, he would be a great support. He could be, I don't know, he could be a lot of things. He could be a great DPS, he could be a great support. He could definitely be something of the Iron Man or Storm type where he's kind of flying around the map all the time. You have to aim to shoot him down, but obviously it would make a lot of sense for him to be DPS because that style of fighting is very flimsy, and I feel like a support that would be kind of busted. I don't know what he would do for healing anyway, but I feel like he would be really, really cool to have, just the, the wings flying around shooting, but he actively stays in the air. Again, kind of another Star-Lord type, but kind of a blend between Star-Lord and like Iron Man, So I don't know, maybe it'd be a little busted. I don't really know, but I definitely think he would be really solid. Really, really solid. After that, I'm looking at Quicksilver. There's nothing wrong with a speedster, right? I don't think it's actually absolutely crazy by any means to have or want a speedster in the game. And, the fastest runner on the ground is Cap. All we got to do is have somebody that punches a little faster. It would be kind of a blend between Cap and Iron Fist, right? We would have somebody that has like that's a little bit faster than Cap when he's using his dash and stuff like that. But then we would also have, the fighting style of not necessarily Iron Fist, maybe something like a little bit less than that, because obviously, Quicksilver is not like a martial artist or anything like that, but he also doesn't really use weapons as much to my knowledge. Maybe he does, I don't know, but I feel like he would be very, very fitting as just a quick ground fighter. Like he would be this is obviously DPS. He'd be kind of like the up close and personal tracer, where he gets in, does a little bit of damage, and then he runs away. Like he's the perfect speedster to utilize for a game like this, and I feel like that would be really, really cool to have. So I'm super duper down for Quicksilver. Now, this next one is a little bit of a mixed bag, only because you can't have him without having a specific item. Now, obviously, I'm talking about Ghost Rider, right? But the thing about Ghost Rider is that, I guess you don't have to have his motorcycle, but I don't know. It'd be kind of weird for him not to have his motorcycle in some cases, right? I feel like that would be fine for his ult. Like, he would just pop out with a motorcycle, but then, regularly speaking, it would be really, really cool for him to use his chains and things like that to fight. He'd definitely be another up close fighter, up close and personal. He'd use his chains to whip enemies and things like that, and it would be really, really cool. He would have he could use fireballs and things like that from his chains. He could definitely be a solid blend of close range as well as long range, and I think that would be really, really perfect for him. And then maybe his ult, he could use his bike to run into people, or set up some hell traps, or some fire traps and things like that. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna mention this at the beginning of the video too. Not super well informed on Ghost Rider. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I just think Ghost Rider as a concept is really, really cool. I don't know as much about him as I would like, but if you have ideas for any of the characters that I've mentioned here so far, please don't hesitate to tell me anything that you know in the comment section below, that any opinions you have, any facts you have that would make sense for them to work in Marvel Rivals. But the concept of Ghost Rider has always been really, really cool to me, so I would just love to see that, right? So I don't know, maybe DPS could also be support. I don't really know. Maybe the fire that he sends out could heal allies, hurt enemies. Makes plenty of sense to me. We'll see what happens. After that, Daredevil, kind of an obvious one. Him and Peter and Moon Knight being all in the same area. I feel like it would just be really, really cool to have all three of them have a little sync up thing. I don't know. Again, Daredevil, I don't know too much about like I would like to, but Daredevil just seems extremely important to the Marvel Universe, and he could definitely be a solid DPS, possibly a solid support. I think DPS, right? He's a fighter, he's up close and personal, and I think he would be a solid match to have. Okay, because I mean, in games like this, the shooter or the DPS is always going to be the biggest roster, and for a lot of these character designs, they just are perfect for DPS, unfortunately, so there's only so much you can do about that. But regardless, I would love to see Daredevil as a playable character at some point in the future. Now, this one is going to be weird. This one is going to be hella weird. But I want Hellboy. Right? Now, Hellboy is in a weird space where I think he's been utilized for both Marvel as well as DC in some cases. But I feel like it wouldn't be all that crazy to have something of a guest character that's, just been around the universe beforehand in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like Hellboy as a concept is just so incredibly cool. I don't know what it is. The Golden Army. I loved Hellboy movies when I was a kid. They're not amazing now that I've seen them, as an older adult. But, I loved those movies when I was a kid, and I just love Hellboy as a concept. And then figuring out he was technically part of both Marvel and DC, I love it. So I would definitely love to have something of a guest character in Hellboy, if that wouldn't be too crazy. Again, I know rights are a bitch and a half to get, so I'm not putting my hopes up on that, but I think that would be really, really sick to have Hellboy. He could be a solid tank, he's big, he's bulky, and he uses his fists. He's kind of like Hulk in a way, and he has his own thing going for him. He definitely has his own unique abilities about him. Don't remember what they are, it's been a while. But I think Hellboy could be a very solid tank to have as a guest character, and, I feel like we shouldn't shy away from having guest characters in video games. I think it's ridiculous to not do that, but that's just my take on it. Again, I know it sounds kind of ridiculous, but I would love to see Hellboy. After that, no way we don't have Black Cat eventually, right? Based on, dude, the way that they're designing these characters, I'd be shocked if we didn't see the craziest Black Cat design we have ever seen in Marvel history in Marvel Rivals with her. And I don't know. I could definitely see that coming. Again, another DPS situation. She's very sneaky. She's climbing on walls. She's doing her thing. She's definitely kind of like a flanker. I could imagine as DPS, she would definitely easily get behind enemy lines, get really, really annoying on the other side and distract them while, the team's really gathering up and, prepping to push and things like that. I feel like she goes by Nat. And yeah, right? She goes by Nat. She would be really, really, really cool to have, I think. And again, I already know, I don't know what NetEase is on, but those developers, they know how to cook with these designs, so they would, I know everybody would lose their minds once Black Cat gets announced, bro. But that's just me. Maybe that's just me. Now, this one could work specifically as either tank or support. Probably tank. Doc Ock, dude. Doc Ock would be so raw as a tank. Tell me I'm crazy, man. Walking on like all of his legs and things like that, utilizing those things to block enemy attacks and having up a shield and things like that. He could be such a solid support, man. Doc Ock would go insane, man. Oh my goodness. And we need more villains too, right? Which is why I mentioned Thanos earlier. Something I didn't really feel like bring up as much is that we do definitely need more villains. And so I feel like having Thanos and Doc Ock as tanks would just be so fitting. It would be so good. So I would absolutely love Doc Ock. We haven't seen him in a while, since Homecoming. You know what I mean? Or no. Was it Homecoming? Yeah. Either way, regardless. Would love Doc Ock as a character. I think he would be a very solid tank, possibly even support. I think I would prefer him as a tank because, you know, supports, they need to be kind of fast. They need to be able to, you know, get behind the team as quickly as possible to start healing them. Tanks always need to be up front and personal and, like, in your face. And I feel like Doc Ock could definitely do that. And I feel like it would be so easy to have all of his tentacle things to, not tentacles, but his leg things to, you know, grab enemies and drag them close so that, you know, our DPS could get crazy and things like that. They could do insane combos with Doc Ock. I feel like he would be a great addition to the cast. That's me personally. After that, of course, couldn't be anything else but DPS in this situation. Green Goblin. Green Goblin is absolutely critical, man. No way in hell we have this game for a couple of years and we don't see Green Goblin sooner than later, right? Incredibly important to the Spider-Man universe, or at least to the Spider-Man storyline, and just an iconic villain. I think Green Goblin would be very, very solid as DPS. I mean, possibly even support. I think most likely DPS. Like, that dude is an attacker. And obviously you would be on his little glider, you know, you'd be throwing bombs everywhere. That would be his primary form of attack. He'd have a little dash thing to get in your faces and drag enemies up and maybe drop them and things like that. I don't know. I feel like they could do a lot with Green Goblin. So I feel like that would be really, really super solid, right? After that, something, I don't know if this character was leaked or if they're even considered for the game. Silver Surfer, easily, like, a great support, right? We don't really know what Silver Surfer's powers are, if we're being so honest, but he's such a raw concept that I don't care what they do. Whatever they give him, whatever kit they give to him, completely believable to me. I would love to see Silver Surfer as a character, and I feel like, honestly, I don't know what it is. I feel like he would just be a perfect support. He seems like excellent support. You know, he's gliding, he's quick, he could go, not invisible per se, but he's definitely like traversing realms and things like that. He has like a crazy wide arsenal. I feel like he would have great reflect moves. Maybe he could reflect enemy damage and utilize that to heal the team and things like that. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot that we can work with when it comes to Silver Surfer. He seems very flexible as a character, so he could either be DPS or support. It could work either way. So I don't know. I would love to see Silver Surfer as a concept for this game. That one was completely off the top of my head, by the way. I didn't have that one written down, but yeah, I'm thinking about Silver Surfer. And then my last one here, Gamora. I mean, I guess, no, maybe not my last. I guess, like, if we're talking Guardians in general, I'm sure we're going to see all of them eventually. But Gamora, Drax, crazy that we have Star-Lord, Rocket, and Mantis, but we don't have, how do we not have, and Groot, of course, but we don't have Drax and Gamora? Crazy thing. Maybe it's one of those situations. Oh, and Adam Warlock. I don't know. I just feel like we could definitely see them eventually, probably a little bit sooner than later, hopefully. But Gamora and Nebula and Drax, awesome trio that I would love to see in a future season or something like that. Would just love to see these guys show up. Gamora especially would be a great DPS. Drax would be an awesome tank. Nebula, DPS, probably, I would assume. I could definitely see all three of them coming through, but Gamora specifically is one that I could see myself playing a lot. Maybe Drax, we'll see what happens, but yeah, I think I would like to see the rest of the Guardians, because why the hell not? But yeah, other than that, I think we've gotten through this primary list here. Now, of course, again, I didn't talk about more of the obvious ones that have been over-mentioned, or ones that I feel have been, you know, leaked or whatever. Again, like, obviously, I want Miles. I want Miles Spider-Man. I want him to be you know, his own Spider-Man, I feel like he would be a solid support, but I feel like this one is something that's on the way, given Miles' recent popularity in the last couple of years. And I feel like when we do eventually see Miles, we're probably gonna see him after the next movie, or like during the hype period of the last movie in the Spider-Verse trilogy. So I could definitely see Miles coming through sooner rather than later. I say sooner, but in reality, we have no idea when this movie is. They haven't even started shooting lines yet, bro. I'm sick. Shamik, this is your fault. But regardless, yeah. But other than that, of course, yeah, I would love to see Miles in there. I would love to see like Ultron, obviously. But again, these are characters that we fully expect, and I don't know. I just have a gut feeling that we'll see something of them relatively soon. But again, I don't know. Maybe I'm jumping the gun a bit. We're still working on season 1, so I don't know. I gotta temper my expectations a little bit here, but you know, we're gonna have this game for a very, very long time, and it doesn't seem to be dying down anytime soon based on the plans that they have for it. So I'm looking forward to the future of Marvel Rivals. But with that, I think that just about does it for all of the characters that I want to talk about for now. Of course, I would be super down to do a part 2, and of course, obviously, if you guys have any characters that you would like to see or talk about, tell me everything you're thinking in the comment section below. But with that, that just about does it for this one. So I'm going ahead and I'm passing the mic over to you guys, and I want you guys to tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below. Do you think that my list is valid? Do you like all of the characters that I have listed here? Are you excited to, you know, think about the prospects of some of these characters joining the fray, like Thanos, like Miguel, like Quicksilver, like Ghost Rider, Daredevil, Gamora, Green Goblin? Is that something that interests you? Or is my list completely insane, idiotic, and batshit? You don't want to see any of these characters in Marvel Rivals. You don't want to hear it, and you have your own list of characters. Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I'm always going to be down there with you guys. But with that, yep, it does appear to be skedaddle o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and do just that. I would like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm gone. So thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!
Doing donuts in a bin. I stay funky. Battle goes wherever I am. I stay funky. I don't know who's ready to spit. Just know you're going down with my 58 clips. I stay funky. Honey's taking back to the crib. I stay funky. Get the club popped off like pain. I stay funky. I don't know.